Hey guys, what's going on? J-Dub here. Do you use your cell phone to record your YouTube videos or do your live streaming content? If so, I've got a device that's going to hold your phone for you as well as take your lighting to the next level. Stick around and check it out. Alright guys, so today I'm going to be showing you a device, like I said, that I think is just going to be super helpful to anyone who's trying to set up something either in a budget or in a small space, but really wants to get the most bang for their buck. And this is, I think, is actually one of the devices that's going to give it to you. It's called the Sokani Lazy Bracket. This is like the all-in-one combo unit. Like I said, this thing is just going to be super useful for YouTube video recording, for live streaming content, for selfie photos, for any kind of content that you create, video or photo-wise. This can be super helpful, especially if you're using your cell phone. Like I said, you have to be using your cell phone with this. This is a cell phone type of deal, but this thing is awesome. So let me show you around this guy a little bit here. So what this thing is it's a cell phone clip here. It's got a spring-loaded clamp, right? So just like any other standard selfie stick or any other type of attachment for a cell phone, this operates the same way. So you clip it in here. So keep in mind, this isn't going to work with large style phones. So anything Samsung Galaxy Note, any of the larger style iPhones, no iPads, none of that kind of stuff. So this is going to be for your standard size phones. So make sure that you check your phone with this first, because this is important. It's only going to fit certain size phones, so make sure you keep an eye on that. But it also includes a selfie ring. Now, if you don't know what a selfie ring is, these are super popular with content creators right now. So they create a very focused segment of light. If you watch the intro to this video, which I assume that you did if you're here now, if you watch the intro to this video, I recorded that using this device and my cell phone. So my cell phone was in selfie mode, so I could monitor my shot, and then this was the light that was kind of blaring on me and just bringing me out of the dark background that I had generated in my small office here. That's kind of the effect that it gives you. You see a lot of popular YouTubers and vloggers and things like that using these. They get those beautiful little eye rings in their eyes and things like that, and it just really brings out your face or whatever it is you're trying to do. You can also use this for unboxing videos, right? The light is very clean, very bright, and you can put it down onto top of something and have your camera hovering above it and do some really cool shots with that. There's so many things that you can do with this light, but they're becoming super popular. You can get them really small, like this one here. It's very tiny, fits in the palm of my hand, very small. Or you can get them really big. It just depends on what you're doing with the light itself. So there's 18-inch ones that are big round ones, and then there's even bigger ones, and those are designed to mount to the front or in a separate stand itself to your tripod. And your DSLR camera is actually, the lens is coming through the center of it. So the ring is exactly around the spots that you're staring at. And that will give you that same look. And so this one is very small, but like I said, it's designed for a very compact kind of setup, and so it works really well. The cool thing is that this thing has so many options as far as lighting, and I will show you those in just a minute here. So we'll keep moving on the tour here. So as you see, it's metal flexible, right? So you can put it in any configuration. You know, what I was doing when I recorded that video initially is I had the phone held in the mount this way, and I had the camera and I had the light just hovering above the camera. You could even put it behind, so where your camera is actually shooting through this hole, have it right up against there. You can do a lot of different things. This thing is so versatile; it will let you do so many different configurations because it's so flexible. If you look at it here, you'll notice the gooseneck thing is actually longer. It's almost double the length. So that's designed for you to be able to put the light wherever you need it, from whatever angle you want it, in front of yourself, or to be behind your cell phone, things like that. So you move on down the line and you're going to get to the clamp. Okay, so this is the heavy duty clamp. This is one of the things that makes it also really versatile, because you can clip this thing on a desk, a chair, a lamp post. You know, there's so many different things that you, not a lamp post, like a standing lamp post in your house, not like a full-blown lamp post out in the street or anything like that. But it's it's a small clamp, but it can clip onto most things. I found no problem clipping it to my desk, clipping it to the table in my living room, things like that. So there's a lot of things you can do with this. Now, I measured it. Okay, so if you stretch this out to where where the two edges are perfectly parallel, you got about 1.5 inches of gap there. Okay, that's the most comfortable amount of thickness that you would want to get into this thing. The maximum I would go would be about, that angle or two. That's about 2 inches. 2 inches is about as thick something that you would want to clamp it to as possible. So you don't want to go much bigger than that. Otherwise, it's going to want to slide off, or the friction is going to want to push it off, and it's going to be a bad scenario. So I would say 1.5 inches is about as thick as you want something to be maximum to keep this thing nice and tight and very stable. The awesome thing about this clamp is, one thing that I'm always concerned about with clamping, right? Clamping it to my desk, clamping it to a chair, clamping it to anything, is this thing going to cause any damage to the wood or to the stain or to the surface that I'm clamping it to? This has got really soft rubber pads on both sides, which will protect whatever surface you're clamping it to, which is really nice. It may not be a bad idea to get a thin towel or a thin piece of foam to put in between there, just to kind of help give it that extra padding, but something to consider. But I had no problem. There was no damage to my desk at all whatsoever, and I was using it. I use this a lot. Cruise on down the cable. You've got the power on button here. Okay, so this is going to turn the light on or off. The down arrow here is going to be the decrease in the lighting, so the brightness. It's going to be, these are your brightness controls, minus and plus, self-explanatory, down and up. Brighter, lighter, right? And then the center one here is the little swirly arrows. Those are going to be to change between the 3 different color modes. Okay, so, and I'll show you those here in just a second. Now, on the very end, the thing that I was most concerned about is that it's USB powered. Okay, so this, I was like, I can see what they're doing here. This is going to be for using at a desk, right? Or you're going to have a computer very, very close by when you're doing this, and you're going to plug into USB. That's what I thought at first, and I think that's what the intention is. However, what I did end up grabbing myself was I had an extra charging brick for an iPhone or for an Android device. I think this is an Android one, but if you've got an iPhone charging square like this, an extra one from a couple phones ago, this works perfectly. You just plug this guy right in here, and now it's a standard plug. So that worked really well for me. I've been using it this way because I've been moving around my house and things like that. It just works really, really well. But if you've got a USB port nearby because you're working at your desk, you've got it right here. It's perfect. It's all you need. It works really well. So let me jump into showing you guys how this light works here. So if you can see this here, I'm trying to reach a plug here. The lights come on. Okay, so you've got the power light is lit. Prepare your eyes. We're going to turn this bad boy on. So you turn it on, and it is super bright. That's the default light. It is a very, very, very bright light. It's got a bunch of LEDs in there, and it's bright. It's no joke. I'm gonna put it right on my face, and you can see it's a very distinct look, and so that's looking right into it. It works really, really well. This thing is bright, and it's pretty overbearing. But I'm gonna go ahead and decrease it. So I'm gonna show you the different modes here, so we can turn it down. Every click you hear is me decreasing it. Lots of different settings. Okay, so that's the lowest. Now when I turned it on, that wasn't the highest. That's 50%. Okay, so we're gonna crank it all the way up, and you can see this thing just gets so bright. But let me give you kind of an idea of what the differences are here. So this is full blast. Okay, so it's really bright. So we're gonna decrease it. I'm gonna go through the entire range here. We're all the way through this range here, and that's the lowest range. Okay, so it's a very, very comfortable light. So no light with the light. So it definitely brings there's those little glowing eyes you get there. Very, very pretty light. So the first light is going to be a very white, very clean white light. Okay, so we're going to switch it here, and it goes to a yellow light. So now you're going to get a very yellowish hue, and then you've got another one which you switch to, which is a mixture. Every alternate LED on this light ring is yellowish white, yellowish white, yellowish white, all the way around. So it kind of gives you a softer light. So it's not going to be quite so harsh. So let's switch back to the standard white. Okay, so there's the standard white. Let's turn it up just so you guys can see a really good difference. Okay, so there's the standard white, somewhere in the upper range. And then we switch to this guy here. There's the yellow, so it's yellow. And then you switch to the nice, this is kind of the mid-range. So this is going to be your softer of the two whites. This thing is super versatile, mostly because you're not tied to a plug, and it can clip onto pretty much anything that's 1.5 inches or less, I would say, to be comfortable. So that's it, guys. That's the Sokani Lazy Brackets. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video you just saw. If you did, there should be more popping up over here, but don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button right down here.